Hi, I'm Alexandra,
I'm Tiffany.
and welcome to Subtle Asian Book Club.
Woo! Today we are discussing our January book of the month, The True Story of Raha the Gullible and His Mother, which was a fantastic read to start off the year.
Yeah.
Yay! So if you're new, you might be wondering, what is this? If you're old or a returning person or a community member, you might be a little bit familiar with how we've done our book club discussions in the past. But essentially, we're going to take this time to just spend a little non-spoilery section to talk a little bit about what the book is and our thoughts on it before diving into a bit more of a spoilery discussion about things that actually happened. So you can either watch
Skip
it halfway.
or come back.
Yeah.
You should read the book. That's what you should do.
Yes.
Highly recommend. I love this book, and I'm so glad we picked it for our book of the month.
Yes, and fun fact, this won the National Book Award for 2025 for fiction,
Oh, yeah.
which is a very prestigious honor, I would say, and can not do us wrong.
Yes.
And I would like to say that we also picked it before it won, so we were on some wavelength.
We were clocking it. We were like,
we were locked in.
this is gonna be good. So excited.
So the book follows a 60-something-year-old professor who lives in a Beirut apartment with his mother, and she is the funniest, most chaotic mom ever, and it made me love my mom so much when I was reading this book. And essentially this book kind of jumps a bit across different time periods, but it's holistically centered around first his coming to terms with his own identity and who he is. So it is a queer book. And then secondly, set amongst the backdrop of Lebanon's three great tragedies is what they call it. The first being the Lebanese financial collapse, second being the pandemic, and then the third being the Beirut explosion in 2020. It's a very funny book. I would say almost like dark humor, but in a very tasteful way. It's also full of heart and just a really great read.
Yeah. I do think that we should mention that there are quite a few trigger warnings. So, quickly going through, there is kidnapping, confinement, gun violence, homophobia, death, including a parent, war, toxic relationships, sexual situations, including forced cross-dressing / sexual dynamics, COVID-19, and the 2020 Beirut explosion.
Yes, so please be conscious going into it. Make sure you're in the right headspace. But I do think this was a very educational book for us, but also really entertaining. And yeah, I think we mentioned before that we really did enjoy it. You can kind of tell by the title, Raja the Gullible, that he is a little self-deprecating in his humor. It is kind of self-aware. And I feel like the fact that because he's a professor, he's a philosophy professor at that, and he's someone who has to live with this parent, you can kind of get a sense of the dynamic and energy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then also his mom is the best. One of my favorite characters ever.
No, yeah, she's actually pretty awesome.
She's
I finished
so
reading this
funny.
book and I was like, I love my mom. And then I had a very chaotic dream with my mom in it, but we're
Share the chaotic dream.
Okay, so essentially, this is not that much of a spoiler, but essentially
Tangent.
this
Tiffany's
book.
dream.
No, okay, I think this book kind of goes into the motherly love and the appreciation and that parental relationship. And so his mom is someone that would really honor, protect him, wants even though she's chaotic, she truly does love her son. And so I had a dream where my mom killed someone to protect me.
Oh my gosh, girl.
Which sounds really bad, but I woke up and I was like, bro, I'm sweating. And then I was like, I think it's because I was reading this last night.
I mean, it makes sense. Because Raja's mom would fully kill someone for him. Because she would make threats and be
Yeah.
She was a scary little woman, but yeah, love her. So my reading process was that I started this as an audiobook on my flight back to New York, and then and I was on the plane and listening to this for 3 hours or 4 hours or so, and then at some point I fell asleep, and then I woke up and I was still listening to the audiobook, and I kept listening to it for another 30 minutes, and I was like, where are we? I don't know what happened. And so then I was like, oh, I need to get the physical book. And so I went to my local bookstore and I saw this on their recommended table, and I was like, lovely, exactly what I was looking for. And then at my local indie bookstore, there is like this sale section where they have a bunch of sale books. And I picked up this book that sounded pretty interesting, and I was like, oh, like this is also set in Lebanon. I feel like it would like go well with the book that I'm currently reading. And I did not look at the title or the author until I went to go check out like 30 minutes later. And as I was checking out, I was like, wait, this is literally another book by the same author. Hold on.
And what's it called?
The other book that I picked up is The Wrong End of the Telescope.
Which I think, I don't know if it's this book, but this author was nominated for the National Book Award, like I think in 2014.
Well, I do know, according to this gold thing on the cover, this is the winner of the Penn Faulkner Award.
So I was doing some research before this into the author and just the book, and one thing that really stood out to me about his writing style is that in an interview he said that he describes himself as like childishly chaotic, in the sense where every book that he writes, he tries to make it completely different from the book before. So if like one is super serious in tone, he tries to make the other one like a comedy.
Oh, that's so fun.
If something is written like very flowery for one language, he tries to shift and like challenge himself to write in a completely different way for the next book.
Wait, that's so fun, because I feel like a lot of times like people want to read another book by the same author because they expect something like similar, but then he's like, psych,
No, exactly.
you're gonna get something that's so funky and weird and you may not like this. But it's funny because I feel like people still like it, because like, I mean, obviously like awards are not,
it's not like the end all be all.
Yeah, exactly. But like multiple of his books have like won very big awards and are very well received. So that just shows he's a very amazing author.
He also has like a lot of life experience. I don't know if that's the right word. Essentially, like this book especially is more closer to his story of having HIV and then learning to live with that, and then also like coming to terms with his queer identity. So those are some things you can expect if you dive into this book.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's funny that it's interesting that you mentioned that he describes himself as like a very fun person, because I kind of noticed that when I saw the author photo.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like wearing like
that's so
a funky
cute
little suit, and like it's so fun. And I remember like I picked it up. So, and the other thing is, I think another reason why I didn't clock that it was like the same author, because I picked it up in the back to like read the summary, and then you have like the author photo and then like the little blurb. And this is a different photo, but this is also like a funny photo.
He's so precious.
So that's why I was like, oh, this is such a fun like little thing that like he chose to do.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the book a little bit more. Like, what did you like about it? Do you recommend it? And if yes, who do you recommend it for?
Okay. Yes, I really enjoyed this. I think this is really good for people who like multi-generational stories, mostly because Raja follows like he's already like later in life, and then he kind of like talks about his life since the beginning, like since like he was like a kid, and like how his upbringing impacted like other stuff when he was like a teenager, and then a college student, and then like an adult, and like now that he's like, I don't know, in his 60s, he has like all these other things. And the way that it's told reminds me of My Brilliant Friend.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, like I really like stories where it starts off like in the future, like they're already like old, and they're like, I have this like big story, or like I have this like journey to tell, and like I need to start from the beginning. And then that's like essentially how the story starts, where Raja's like already in his 60s, and like I I have to tell you about this crazy life that I've lived. But then in order to tell you about this crazy thing, you have to understand this other crazy thing. And in order to understand that crazy thing, like, you need to understand this other thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's like a big part of the book. And that's also kind of how My Brilliant Friend is structured too, where it's like,
would you say it's like as funny?
it's totally different.
Oh, okay.
Tonality, like, wise, it's like totally different. And then also structurally, like, thematically, all this other stuff, it's different because, like, this is about like family, and that the other novel is like about it's friendship. And so it's different. Also, that book is like more so like, I'm gonna go on a tangent about My Brilliant Friend, but that book is more like about like her trying to write this story in vengeance of her friend.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like basically like
She did.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. But in My Brilliant Friend, the first chapter is like, oh, like, you told me that you never wanted me to write a story about our friendship, but then you did the thing that I told you to never to do. You disappeared. Your son is looking for you, and like, I can't believe you did that to me. So I'm gonna do the one thing you told me not to do, and I'm gonna write about us. It's like a big like so, and then she starts in the beginning.
Okay,
She's like,
okay.
this is how it starts. And I feel like this book, or Roger the Gullible is kind of like that, where he's like in the future and he's like talking about stuff, and then he goes through that. So that's a long tangent. I also think this book is good for people who like fun characters and like very dynamic and very interesting characters with like a lot of different personalities. And if they also really particularly like heartfelt relationships between family. We've already talked about like his relationship with his mom, but I think like this book explores more than just that. It's like it also goes into his relationship with his sister, his cousin, and his relationship with his brother, the relationship like between like their families, the relationship between like their friends, but then at the core it is about like him and his mom. And then lastly, I would recommend it for people who are interested in reading stories about queer identity, because I feel like it does a really good job portraying that for cultures that are still a bit more conservative, and it's like still a little bit more challenging for people to like come out and be accepted, which I think is a lot of cultures. A lot of places are more conservative, specifically in like this thing where it's like socially not as acceptable.
I think it's funny because I feel like when I was thinking of like who I'd recommend this for, it's like a little different from yours. But like, okay, I'll just get into it. First, I recommend it for people who are into like, who like comedy, and like in particular dark comedy, but like in a very tasteful way. Like it's not offensive, I would say. I don't know if that's the right term. Like I think it's like, it's very funny, and at times it's a little not like crass. But in a way that it's like, it's still like enjoyable to read. At no point am I like put off by it. I'd also say I would recommend this for people who love/miss their mom, and or sometimes have like those family members or close friendships where you think someone's annoying, but you're like, you still love them anyway, and then you still do what they say.
Yes, exactly.
People who like cats, because there are cats in this book.
All right.
And then I'd also say people who want to learn more about Lebanon. Like, I won't say you would get a history lesson through this book, but I do think you're exposed more to parts and events that have happened that you previously, like in a Western education, you may not know as much about, because it is a good introduction into someone whose life is entrenched into like the 1980s to now.
Yes. No, I think that's totally true. And I feel like the way that the book does it is really tasteful, because it does a good job balancing like, oh, this is like the history of Lebanon, and this is the story about this character.
Yes.
It doesn't do it in a very like, oh, this is the history of Lebanon. It's more so like, this is the history of this character, but in order to understand this character,
Yeah.
you must understand what's going on in the world.
Yeah, like I think it's never the author's responsibility to like give you a history lesson or teach you what's going on in the world, but I think it's set itself up very well by kind of introducing both at the same time in a way that's very palatable. And it's very helpful to a reader who maybe has like no context going in too. And I would also say the other thing I really like about the book is obviously like every society and every community has its own flaws, but you do see moments where the community comes together, especially like during the Lebanon Civil War, during like a specific bombing, for example. Like they look out for each other, and there are going to be people who are like maybe bad actors or like some random villains, but like at the core, the community looks out for each other.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I know there's like a particular chapter or moment that like really spoke to me, and I was like, I'm emo. Or actually like a few chapters
no, actually,
or moments where I was like, I'm so emo.
Okay. I want to like emphasize a little bit more about how funny the mom is.
Oh my gosh.
Like I know we
she's
keep talking
the
about
best.
this, but I feel like are you ever like with your parent or something, you're like, you're so funny, even though you're like annoying or whatever. And then you see like for example, let's see like you see your friend's mom do something to annoy your friend, and then obviously your friend's like, oh, but then you're like, that's what this book is.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. 100%. The mom is like, I just love her so much, and I really think that she is like the core of this.
Yeah, which is funny because I did see like an interview either with the author or just like some review out there like in a journal where the mom is such a crux of this story, but like even in the title it's like parentheses and his mother.
Yes.
But she's so important.
Yeah. 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 I feel like it's like I think that's another reason. Sorry, I keep bringing up my brilliant friend.
Oh my god, girl.
But like I think that's another reason why like it reminded me of my brilliant friend, because I feel like this book is about his mom and like less so about him.
Wait, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but he wrote this. Okay, well, first of all, it's not dedicated to his mom. Like the dedication in the beginning is to a different person, but he wrote this in appreciation of his relationship with his mom, because his mom's is like 80 something, so very similar to this book, but the author's mom's memory is failing. Oh. Which is why it kind of reads in some ways like a love letter to his mother. I know, I was really sad about it too.
Girl!
I know.
I'm crying!
I know.
I'm crying!
But I think that's why it's like so touching. So before we dive into spoilers, let's chat a little bit about like what we personally got out of this book.
I feel like it set the tone for my 2026
Honestly,
reads.
fair.
Like,
honestly fair.
The bar is up here. The bar is up there.
Bro, the bar is the 2025 National Book Award winner. That's rough for everything else.
Rough.
But also, like, maybe good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, like, after I finished this, I was like, I can see why it won. Like, this was a very well-written book. It's like...
Yeah.
I can see artistically, like, why it could be challenging to put together. But it was done so well. Like, I think it's been a long time where I felt so immersed in a book, which is funny because we do read a lot. But, like,
yeah.
I think this narrator is one of the most compelling ones because he does not shy away from his own flaws, his own, like, what he's scared about. He's very, like, blatant and apparent about things that he's mad at, things that he's frustrated at, like whether that's his mom, whether that's external circumstances, his desire to learn certain things. So I feel like that's what makes it really human. And that's something I really appreciated about the book.
Yeah. I agree. I had just had a full brain
I know,
fart.
I can see it.
I was gonna say something and I fully lost it. It was like 100% just blank. I feel like this is a very timeless book for me. Like, I can see myself like thinking about it in a few years, and like or not even a few years, like in a few months. Like, I can see myself like at the grocery store, I don't know, picking up something, and it's like referenced in the book or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
this reminds me of this. Or like watching a movie and then it has like some random parallel to this. And I'm like, oh, like, I feel like this reminds me of this book. So yeah, I feel like it feels like something that would stick with you for a while.
Yeah. I also would say that, like, I touched on the educational piece of the book, which is, like, obviously bad on my part on American education, that we don't learn these things as much, or, like, if we do, it's very touched upon very briefly. But it did, like, humanize isn't the right word, but, like, it did bring a lot of things to light for me, because I do remember, like, during 2020, when the Beirut explosion happened, it was trending on Twitter, it was on all the news sites, but we as people who live in the United States obviously aren't going to be thinking about it as much as the people who have lived through that trauma.
Yeah.
So, like, reading that and, like, being like, oh yes, this was actually not that long ago, like 6 years ago, but it's like not that long ago.
No, it really isn't. I was just gonna say that, where I'm like, it's now that I think about it a bit more, it's crazy to me because this is so recent. Like it talks about COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I lived through COVID.
We lived through COVID.
COVID was like 2 blinks ago.
It's still kind of COVID.
Yeah.
People still be getting COVID.
Exactly. Like, COVID's still happening.
Like, he's social distancing in the book, and then we were like, we've done the same thing.
Exactly. And not too long ago. And then, like, the explosion was, like, around the same time.
Yeah.
So then I was like, that's crazy.
I will say the new things I learned from this book was a little bit more about the Lebanese Civil War, which is, like, 1975 to 1990, I think.
Yeah.
We'll check that. But there's that. And then also the Israeli invasion of Lebanon, which I truthfully did not know much about.
Me too.
And then as I was, like, looking this up, like, I literally Googled, I was like, Israel invasion of Lebanon. Israel had airstrikes on Lebanon, like, 4 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So, like, a lot of these things...
I think I saw that.
Yes. So, like, a lot of these things are still very relevant and pressing to this day. When you think about things like Palestine, when you think about things like the U.S. bombing Iran, when you think about Israel still bombing Lebanon, like, in this book in, like, 1985, and then to this day, like, 30 years later, it's like, what the heck?
More than 30.
Yeah, more than 30.
Give or take. But yes.
So... it's also crazy. Like, it's just crazy. It's, I want to say sad, but also, like, who am I to say so, living in my little privileged bubble? But also...
it is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. Like, in a like, you're not trying to pity anyone or look down on anyone. You're just trying to, like, empathize and be like...
like, how are we still here?
Yeah.
How is it still like this?
It's crazy.
Sorry, that took a bit of a dark turn, and that's kind of what I mean by, like, some of the dark parts of this book. But, like, not even.
We could keep it lighthearted. We gotta take a note from this book. Keep it lighthearted. Keep it fun.
It's funny. Like,
it's so funny.
It's so funny. The mom will be like, I need your permission to do this. He's like, no. And then he'll be like, well, I already did it. He's like, what? And she's like, here you go. And she's great. It's so great.
Yeah. I mean, he's funny too. Like, the main character. Anyway, definitely go read this book if you have not yet. We are going to talk about spoilers.
Yes.
So, if you read this book, keep it coming. We're going to give you 3, 2, 1.
No, okay. Wait, let me say. The part I really wanted to say about the mom was, like, when he was like, hey, your cousin and aunt are going to come, like...
oh, yes.
Nade?
I know.
Nade? Nade? Nahed. When he was like, oh, your cousin Nahed and Aunt Yasmin are going to come live with us. And he's like, no, I hate that old woman. She's a witch. Blah, 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 blah. She's like, okay, well, like, I already told, like, Nahed that she could. And she's just waiting for your permission. He's like, no, why would you say that? Like, I don't have my permission. She's like, well, like, they're going to. You just, like, need to say your blessing. She's like, okay, well, I don't give my blessing. And it's like, it's okay. She's coming up now. And you're like, coming up? And then
She's like, he's outside.
it's like outside the door. And then like cut to, oh, and also Aunt Yasmin has COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I love the mom so much.
I loved him because after that, he was like, I genuinely wish she was dead. Like, he was like, I wish Aunt Yasmin was dead because tell me why this woman who has like lung cancer or some other cancer
and, like,
got
double
COVID.
breast mastectomy.
Yeah, got COVID twice, is still alive.
It's like the odds were against her and yet she prevailed. And that is my disluck.
Yes.
Or like my misfortune.
Yes. Unluckiness or something. Yeah, he's so good.
I also love how, sorry, I don't know if which is a good way to structure this because otherwise I'm just like, these are all the things I love.
It's okay. Go for it.
Okay, well, another thing I love is just like how much he's loved by his students.
Oh my god. Okay, I was literally going to talk about this.
Because, okay, on one hand, I love how the mom is just a freaking badass.
Yeah.
And then like we'll go fight like at the we'll go protest at the demonstrations, and then she like sees the students there, and then they're like, oh my god, we saw your mom.
I know.
And they were like, oh yeah, we bonded because we both got tear gas together.
Yeah, insane.
She's so inspiring. And she's also, I don't know.
No, I love her so much. No, like I really the final scene of the book.
Yeah.
Where like the students are coming to the funeral in batches.
Because there's so many of them.
Yes. And he's like breaks down at one point. I was like, man, like that really did something for me because I feel like I always forget like how much impact we have as people. Mm-hmm. And you know, as a student going into a class, like whether that be like a workout class or like an actual class like for academics or like growing up like ballet class or anything like that, I feel like all the teachers I had like really impacted me. But then on the flip side, I used to also teach like either ballet or yoga, and like I feel like from that perspective, like I forget how much of an impact I have as a teacher. And I feel like that parallels to like content creation.
Okay.
Because I feel like for me as a consumer, I am like so positively impacted by like a bunch of people that I watch like on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok or whoever, and I'm like, oh, like I really admire like the work that they do. But then I feel like oftentimes like whenever I make something, it's the same where like I kind of forget like how much of an impact that I have on the people who like follow me or like
you forget like how much of a like of an impact or how much.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that scene does it really well too because like I feel like the students were coming up to him and being like, oh, I feel like you don't remember me or something. And I'm like, and he was like, oh, I do remember you. Or sometimes he forgot them and they were like, oh, like your class was everything to me or like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
when the two students that his first two people that he tutored, which were his classmates, and they also came.
Yeah, exactly. Crying. And like initially, like he didn't recognize them, and they were like, "You probably don't recognize us because like it's been like 40 years or something like that, and like we've changed." But yeah, and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, like it's crazy, like how our lives like intersect and how powerful that is." Because also the other thing about like these types of relationship where it's like student and professor or like I guess like creator and consumer, oftentimes like the overlap isn't that long. You know what I mean? Like it's like an intense and short period of time as opposed to like a friendship or like a family member. Like when you're going to live with your family for the most part if things are well and there's no issues, like you see them like through a big portion of your life. And like for friends, like for us, like we're long-term friends, like we've known each other for a really long time and then like we keep going. But for like teachers and their students, you're really only together for like not that long, and you like meet like let's say like if it's like every day for like however many months or like once a week or something along those lines. But like you grow so much during that time that you forget how how meaningful it is.
Yeah. Teachers are awesome.
Yeah.
Teachers are awesome.
I love that.
Okay. I know there's a lot to talk about. I have several things I want to talk about. I want to talk about... What's her face? Madame Tawil.
Oh, yes.
I want to talk about Booty, obviously.
Okay, yes.
And then also want to talk about his appreciation of Japan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good things. Okay.
Let's talk about... you go first.
I don't know. You can pick.
Let's talk about Madame Tawil.
Okay.
Just because I think it segues well with the mom.
Yes.
And I just love their friendship.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I think it was so funny the way that their friendship was introduced. Because in the beginning, I didn't think there was going to be a friendship. I thought there was going to be like a tiff, like a fight. Because Madame Tawil shows up with her bodyguard. And then the mom confronts the bodyguard. Like, what are you going to do, huh? Like, what would your mother think about this?
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And then I think she's like impressed to, like, that is the instance where she sees like a companion, a friend, like someone who's like an equal almost. And then they remain that way, like literally until the end. And I think that's really sweet, like how they look out for each other.
Crying.
And then that was just like, oh yeah, friendship's like not for the elderly, but like friendship comes at all stages in your life.
Yes.
And they're very good for our parents and our parents' parents and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny because like it kind of reminds me of this conversation that we had with the Secret Library. Plug to join the Secret Library. We have
monthly book club discussions
that are exclusive, where everyone shares like their honest opinions, and we talk even more depth about the book. And then we also have reading sprints.
Yes.
But then in this past, was it the reading sprint that we had this, or was it the book club discussion?
For our last book club discussion.
Yeah, okay. So for our last book club discussion, one of our members was talking about elderly relationships and like a book that like she recently read, and she was talking about like how refreshing it is to like read a book where like elderly people are like going at it or like doing things and like living life, and it's like really refreshing to read something where like
life doesn't end when you're 25.
Exactly.
Or like, 35.
Exactly. Or 55 or 60 or 70 or 80.
The mom's like 80 something in this book.
Exactly. And so like I think like that's another thing where it's like, oh, like, you know, I think that's why like Raja's mom like is such a wonderful character, because she's like so much oomph and so much heart, and she feels like young. And then
she's very fiery. She's like an Emily Gilmore almost.
Yes, exactly. And so it makes me feel
like funnier and nicer.
Yes. And totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
Even though we're like, yeah, she's just like Emily.
That's the best comparison I have totally right now. Different. But they're so different.
They're so different.
Like, better, arguably, in some...
I love Emily Gilmore.
I love Emily Gilmore too, but I think it's just like...
They're different.
Yeah.
They're different. Okay.
But ethnic.
Anyway, yes. Emily Gilmore, but ethnic.
Yeah,
okay,
like not a white woman.
Yes. And not, like, wealthy like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to this book. And back to what I was saying. It makes me, like, feel so good to know that, like, you can literally start things anytime. You can build relationships at any time, at any point. And you can
be, like... the mafia leader of the generators as an older woman in the 70s, as you're in your 70s, like Madame Tawil.
Yes.
You can be protesting with your son's college-age students.
Yes.
As an 80-something-year-old, 70-something-year-old woman.
Yes. Yes.
You can still stand up against, like, bodyguards and be like, are you gonna slap me? Like, would you slap your mother?
Yes. Yes.
At every stage.
Yes. You can do anything at any stage. And I find that so inspiring.
Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but I also really... Another part of the book that made me, like, sob was when... And we can pivot to this point whenever. When, obviously, Raja's kidnapped by Booty.
Oh.
And
Oh.
he learns that, or he tells him that, like, your mom
Yes.
is just going to every single, like,
Yes.
faction and, like,
Yes.
trying to look for you.
Yeah.
And there's literally a civil war going on.
And also the fact that every single general is terrified of her.
Yeah.
He was like, Booty's boss's boss was like, Raja's mom scares me. She's terrifying. That old woman's scary.
I don't know. That was just, like, one of those moments where I was like, there is nothing stronger than a mother's love. Like, arguably for some people, right? But, like, that was a point in the book where I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. A moment of silence for Raja and Booty and the things that happened in that windowless room.
Bro, that was crazy.
Okay, that's the part where I was listening to the audiobook
And you got confused.
and I got confused because I forget exactly what happens prior to that. They're like in school. He's like in school.
Yeah. He's in school. He's learning how to dance. He's learning the cha-cha.
Yes, yeah, he's learning the cha-cha. I fall asleep. I wake up.
Oh my god.
And then he's like in a cell and there's like gunshots.
Bro.
And I was like, what just happened? And I kept going and then it was like Booty this, Booty that. And I was like, who's Booty? What is Booty? Do you mean like booty or like capital, like B as in Booty as a person?
My goodness.
And I was like, okay, I need to get the physical book because I have no idea what's going on.
Not to be like shame for falling asleep, but like we've all done that. But I'm very, very proud of you for like catching yourself.
Yeah.
And then going back and relearning because that's what you're supposed to do. You know, like, it's good.
Yes, yes. And then I'm glad because I went on a whole tangent and I got this other book. So
Yeah.
So anyway.
But that was crazy. Like, Raja really was just like in the wrong place, wrong time for so many of that. Like, he did not want to be picked by, what is it? Madeline?
Something like that. I forget
By
her name.
Micheline. He did not want to be picked by Micheline to do the stance.
Yeah.
It just so happened that he's the only boy in the whole school that can keep a rhythm.
Yeah.
And then, because of that, he gets kidnapped by, what's his face? Yves and the other guy.
Yeah.
And taken for a car ride.
Yes.
And then,
they get shot.
yeah, which is traumatizing. And it's like, you could say that he's lucky for surviving, but then this whole thing with Booty happens. And like, Booty's like,
Not that much older.
okay, I was gonna say weird.
Okay. I thought you were going to say older.
Oh no, I was gonna say weird. Like,
He's a strange man.
he's strange. Like, he kind of reminds me of, okay, it's because I'm watching Percy Jackson right now.
Oh, yes.
He kind of reminds me of Prometheus, like the Cyclops that kidnaps Grover. Just like like in some
Oh,
ways,
I see the parallels.
like in some ways, one of those like scary, but not that ill-meaning
Yeah.
giants.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I was, okay, this is also
That's
like,
spot on.
you know,
That's
like
spot
of
on.
Mice and Men.
Yes.
You know how there's like that one guy who like dies at the end?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, like in Of Mice and Men, like there's one character who's kind of like himbo's not the right word, but like the dumb idiot. But like dangerous.
whispered that.
But like
Okay, yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what he reminds me of. And then, you know, what's crazy though is like, it's really, and I can totally understand Raja's like difficulty coming to terms with what he endured.
Yes.
Because technically he is kidnapped, right? And you're kind of like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But in some ways you're also like, well, Booty saved him from being
Yes.
shot.
Yes.
So it's
like a really complicated thing, and I feel like the way that the author chose to like have the ending where Raja like stands his ground and is like, bro, you abused me.
yeah.
Because I feel like it could have been one scenario where it's like, oh well,
I forgive you.
yeah, or like, you love me, like let's have this future.
That's
which would be crazy. But then like that is a scenario in which like that could happen, you know what I mean?
No, that's true.
Um
Because, like, in some ways, this was, like, Booty's way of playing house. Like, he
Yeah.
had a
housewife.
essentially.
And he would like dress him up in like dresses and stuff.
And then, like, Raja had to make dinner,
yes.
take care of the cat, all these things. Like, Booty really thought that he was being well-intentioned, but like this man was holding him captive. And it took me a bit to realize the Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
That was coming to play.
Yeah.
And then also, what's it called? Oh, sorry. Okay. Their relationship. This is when I have zero confidence in my ability to suss out. Like, I have my gaydar is just like,
girl,
I have
what?
no confidence in it. Like,
You
know,
didn't
some people
see it?
like some people are really good at it, and they're like, I clocked that coming from a mile away, and I was like, I think I see something, but I could be so wrong, and it's gonna be so embarrassing if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you didn't know that Booty was gay? Like, when
I needed it confirmed on page.
Oh my gosh, girl, it was
Like,
so
I needed
obvious. When Booty was like, this guy's for me, I was like, gay?
No, I was like, and then there was some dancing tension. I was like, are they?
No,
and then like, I think there was like a kiss or something. I was like,
well, that's crazy because,
like,
sorry, it's crazy because like, we knew that the premise of the book is that it's gay.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was gonna be Booty too. You know, like I was like,
there has to be someone. You know,
maybe someone else was gonna show up.
There's two people.
You're only 40% there.
Gay relationship.
We were only 40. Okay, honestly, 40% is probably the time.
Like a decent amount of time in the book. 40%. Hello. It's not just like, oh, I'm cool. I'm gay. It's a plural, singular. It's a.
They're gay.
No, it's he's gay. But then someone else, like,
there's another person there.
Yes.
Yeah. Zero confidence in my gaydar.
Frick, I'm sorry.
I don't want to assume.
He is asking this guy to teach him dance lessons.
For Micheline.
No. Girl, think about it. They're in, like, closeted society.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
It's like not socially acceptable at all. Like, if you think about, like, Raja came out in a dress and that ruined his reputation for like decades, and he didn't even do anything. He just like came out in a dress because that was all he had to wear, that was available to him, and then like that ruined him socially.
Yeah.
And so that's why earlier in like the non-spoilery section, I was like, oh, I feel like it gives a lot of context about like how society treats you when you come out. But the thing is, like, he didn't even come out in that moment. It was just
he
like,
escaped.
He was escaping, and he escaped in a garment that was so like also cross-dressed in terms of gender norms, and it was like so unacceptable that thing followed him for the rest of his life. And that's like,
damn,
that's like crazy to conceptualize. At least like when I read it, I was like, that was the pinnacle for me, like for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like him escaping. It was the fact that he escaped in a dress.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, and he brings it back up
more.
Because he also says that in the end where he was like, oh, I didn't hate Booty because, like, I didn't despise or, like, resent him because he kept me in the confined space, because he kidnapped me, and because of what happened in that room. But it was the fact that he had to come out of that room.
Yeah, and then like, deal with life.
Yeah, deal with life. And I think part of what he meant by life was the fact that, like, oh, now it's confirmed that he is a gay man. Like, he's fully a gay man.
And everyone resents him for it.
Yes, and he came out in a dress, and everyone resents him for it. And he brings it up towards the end of the book when he's talking with Nahed, because Nahed was like, oh, I really, like, admired you when you were younger because I felt like you were so confident in like the way that you walk. You would like walk differently from like other kids. You would dress in your like own unique style. And then like after he came out, like from that experience, he kind of like polished himself up and then became just like everyone else. And I think like that does happen to like kids and people in general, where it's like, oh, you know, like when you're younger you have like these interests, before you have like a consciousness that you're being perceived.
Yeah.
But then like he had like an extreme version of that where he was literally confined and then went through like this big personal identity sexual experience, and then he comes out, and not only does he realize that he's different, but he's also like hyper perceived because he's wearing something different, and that is like feminine. He was always perceived as feminine before, but then also he's like coming to terms that like you are someone who is like going to be watched and judged and perceived, and that's pretty crazy.
Well said.
Oh yeah,
very well said. I was like, I have nothing to follow up. I think that was a very great insight into it, because I think I didn't think about it that much.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I like this too. I did not think about you were riffing.
No, it's funny because like I think like whenever I finish a book, I do have like thoughts like this. I mean, obviously depending on the book, like sometimes like one book is just like fun and no thoughts, and that's fine. But then I like that we're having like this type of conversation, because I think usually we're like, oh, like we liked it, and then that's the end. But then I think like because we're like going back and forth about stuff,
because like the things that I clock are different from the things you clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not catch this like huge metaphor. Like I like understood it, right, but I don't think I understood the gravity of how much it impacted him.
Yeah.
Because I was more so thinking of like literally the trauma of the Stockholm syndrome, and obviously like just in the backdrop of everything that is happening, because I was really hyperfixated on the fact that there's literally a war going on while he's isolated, and he can hear the gunshots, he hears like the dogs barking, he does not know what's happening to his family, and he's worried about what his mom is worried for him.
Yes.
So that was like, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy.
Before he went into confinement, I feel like it's interesting because it's like so normal. And then after he comes out, not only is it like this extreme transformation on his own part, and then this like layer of like gender and perception and whatnot, but then it's also like the world, like his world, the country is like flipped upside down. Like we are in war.
And like the buildings are like bombed and shot at, and he escapes, and like he's in a dress, and that's probably the reason why he didn't get like shot at by the sniper. And then rather than being like, thank goodness like you survived, people are like, oh, it's because you look like a woman. That's crazy.
And it's also crazy because like if you think about it, it's like not that long ago, and I know like, you know, queer rights and like all that stuff is like still a very new thing, but it's still crazy to conceptualize like how recent it is.
So back to Raja and his like gender identity and queer identity. Something that I thought was interesting was how he would like to dress up as a geisha, and that was something that was kind of for him, but also used against him in some ways. Like his mom would show videos to Madame to wheel, and then I don't know. It was just like he is learning in his own way, right? And it's also there's no one there doing this alongside him. Like so much of this book is him learning things and coming to terms to things on his own. His gender identity being for one, the Japanese language being another. And I thought that part, like the Japanese part, was really interesting just because we've read a lot of books set in Japan by Japanese translated authors. And there was one line in the book that really stood out to me where the author was like, Japan as a culture is probably like the most opposite from Lebanon in every way. When he was describing his house, just like his mom's house is just like very, like there's just a lot of stuff. It's very cluttered in some senses. It's like a lot of things hold memories, and that's why there's so much that they hold on to. Versus like the Japanese architecture and design is very minimalist. And so that's what intrigued him about it, and why he became more interested in learning about Japanese as a language. I love that the neighbor, Mrs. Makoto,
I don't remember her name, but I know it starts with an M.
Yes. Okay, so his Japanese neighbor, who even after the war happens, sends him books.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to mention that.
No, I love that. I think that's really interesting. I mean, I feel like that really shows like what I really appreciated about Raja's character that Nahad brings up towards the end of the book too. And same thing goes with about like the clothing thing that I brought up, where like throughout the book consistently he is not afraid to be himself.
Yeah.
Like he never like really conforms to the expectation of others.
Yes.
Like people are like, or not even people, but like society in general. It's like, oh, like you should be interested in this. Like you are a boy. You should be interested in like fighting and like macho things. And then it's like, that's like a very surface level, just a gender thing. But then I think it goes beyond that too with like his other interests, like being really interested in Japanese culture. That's like a random niche thing for like a Lebanese teenager. And then like all of his other like things that he's into, he's not afraid to like be himself. And I think I just really appreciated that. And it's interesting because I don't think I don't think it was like a conscious decision where he was like, oh, I'm gonna be myself.
Yeah.
But it always just felt like,
this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's like it just felt like he never even considered conforming to social expectations or norms. He was just like, that's not an option.
Yeah.
I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what leads him to writing a whole book in Japanese.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I totally forgot about that.
Writing a whole book in Japanese, or like from the perspective of someone who's like viewing the war, which is also really interesting because I think a lot of the book parts of the book also talk about how people leave. Like the Japanese neighbor has to leave, the old professor has to leave, which is how he ends up getting the professor position.
Yeah.
It's like the people who leave during wartime.
Yeah.
And then, okay, we're gonna transition back to Booty. I thought he died. So I was like so shocked when he came back.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I like audibly gasped.
I was like, obviously there's going to be a twist because it's setting itself up that like this whole fellowship thing is like not a scam, but like there's something not right.
Yeah.
I did not expect this at all.
Me neither. But I will say I feel like I'm pretty bad at like anticipating like what's next in a story. Actually, it's interesting because I noticed that like sometimes when people read or consume media, like watch a movie or something, they're like, oh, then this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I think you do that.
I do that, but I did not clock this at all.
Yeah. But like usually when I read or like watch any movie, I'm not thinking like this is what's next. Like it doesn't even occur to me. And so yeah, but yeah, this I totally did not expect. I was like, I wonder where this is going. And then Booty's like, I'm in love with you. And I was like,
the fact that it was like, he was playing the long game. Booty was playing the long game.
I know. That's crazy.
Okay, I did think it was suspicious how when Raja escapes his like isolation cell, there were like bodies, but like he didn't point out that Booty's body was part of it. So I was like, interesting.
Well, I didn't think Booty died.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was not my theory. I thought, like, I don't know what happened.
Like, I thought he, like, died during war or something.
Oh, I fully didn't think that he died. I was just surprised because, like, when, at the end of the Booty chapter, like, the big one, like, the confinement chapter.
Oh, okay.
He was like, okay, also side thing, but I find it hilarious how Raja tells all the nitty-gritty details to his mom. But anyway.
And then his mom goes off on Booty at the end.
Yeah.
Which I love.
But anyway, I just, at the end of that chapter, I was actually really surprised when Raja was like, and then I never spoke to him again. Like, that was like, and I never saw him, and I never, like, I told my mother everything, and then I never spoke to him, and I never, like, thought about him, or, like, I basically erased him from my mind, like, forever. And that, for some reason, like, really surprised me, because I don't know, like I felt like the way that their relationship went, it seemed like I know it's like he was captured and all that stuff, but then I felt like for some reason like there would be like more to it, because Booty was also implying like, oh, you know, like I'm trying to help you, like I want you to get out, because like if not, the general's gonna come after you, like it's gonna be bad for the both of us. And it felt like a two-sided thing. And so like after Raja escaped, I don't know why, but like I just assumed that like, oh, more things were gonna happen related to this. Like the general was gonna come, or Booty was gonna find him, or like something, because like they know like where to find, like,
because they're like, he escaped.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Or like his mother is going to like, they know where his mother lives, or things like that. And so like that's why I was really surprised, like, oh, like, and that's just the end of that.
That's true. That's so true.
And I also thought it was like interesting and strange, because I think typically like when you are in situations of like trauma or abuse, like it's hard to just like pack it up in a box and shove it in the back of your mind and be like,
but it was
never
a very
bring it up.
Traumatic experience for him.
Oh yeah, but what I mean is like I feel like maybe, and I'm sure like everyone's reaction is different, is like, oh, like you have this trauma, but it's not something that like you can just pack up and store away in the back of your mind. Like I'm sure it comes up in everyday things for years, and then you have to like slowly move on from it. But then for Raja, I was like,
nope,
goodbye, I'm done with this.
I see.
And so that's why I was like really surprised by that end before they moved on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I let out like the biggest gasp when we're like, okay, something's really weird about this fellowship. He's looking through the photos, and in the middle of this fox hunt is Booty. And I'm like, Booty?
Yeah,
same. He's back? And also, a fox hunter? Like, what the heck? This is so weird. And then Vicky or whatever, whoever the woman is, she's like, he needs to like apologize to you to heal. And I saw a very interesting quote, either from like, there was a very good quote within the book that was like, a culture that serves and protects the perpetrators of crimes will always try to convince its victims that they will feel better if they forgive and move on.
Yes!
Because I think there are many, like, I can totally imagine, like, Booty is an American Western therapy, and he's unpacking this to his therapist, and the therapist is like, well, have you apologized? Or, like, there are two ways. It can be like, okay, well, you can't, like, ask anything, you need to move on. And then, like, maybe this white woman who literally does is like, you need to apologize to him to move on. And so they plot this, like, huge, long game to bring Raja to the U.S., to Virginia, on this, like, terrible flight experience where he's like, you have business class. No, you don't. Just kidding. And then he has to, like, spend this money. And then also, like, shout out Madame Tawil, who is doing the work to, like, get him back home. And just, like, the people that he has in his corner, and how much like Madame Tawil, like even though her and the mom and just like him, like I do think in some ways Madame Tawil does see him as a son because like of how much she cares for him. Yeah. But just like that's crazy. Yeah. That's also crazy.
Yeah. Insane. No notes.
Okay.
I have my nails. No, it's my clapping.
Okay, girl. I want to end it with this one quote from the author in the NPR interview, which is that one of the things that was interesting to me about this book is the various ways, shall we say, loving relationships or the various intimacies in the book. I'm one of those people who believes we need different kinds of intimacies as humans, and one of the most important ones is somebody to listen to us no matter what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And so this is like a quote that he attributes to the mom and Madame Tawil. But I think like this idea of love, whether it's friendship love between Madame Tawil and the mom, like in your older days, this complicated love between Booty and Raja, the love between mother and son, the love that even Nahid has for like Aunt Yasmin, and like we acknowledge that Aunt Yasmin has not been the kindest person to Raja or the mom, but like the mom still treats her with love, all these things, like the family responsibility. I think so much of this book is about love.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
So good. Because I forgot what book we were reading last year, but then like I think it had like a similar sentiment where like everything is about love. It all comes back to this. Oh my gosh, I forgot what book it was, but we were talking about it in our Secret Library monthly discussions.
Yes.
Shout out.
There's so much more that we can say, and there's so much more that we would want to say, but we could yap forever. And so if you do want to yap with us, please join the Secret Library, which is our membership program if you just want to support us a little bit more. We host reading sprints every month and monthly discussions for every single book. Our book club is a labor of love that we just like to do for fun outside of our jobs, outside of school. And so we have negative monies from it when it comes to web hosting and all these things. But it is like help offset a little bit by the people in the Secret Library. Now, there's no obligation to, you can be a part of the book club in any way that you want. This is just for people who want to yap with us like even more.
Yes, and then get like some more behind the scenes things. We like to share like
advance notice on things like this podcast.
Get some more feedback of like, oh, like, you know, what do you want more of? Like,
what kind of books?
Exactly. What kind of books do you want to read? Or what kind of initiatives you would like to see.
Yeah.
Things like that. And yes, as Tiffany mentioned, the funds of the Secret Library is mostly to offset web hosting, domain, just like the cost of
running the book club
because we're not being paid minimum wage at all,
and that's fine. We love it. I mean, like, it's not fine, but like, we do love it. Like, we'll still do it, but it does mean a lot when people ask how they can support us.
Yes, exactly. So not necessary, but if you are interested and you would like to chat with other people, and I think it is a good way if you want to share your own opinion and like be part of the conversation as opposed to just hearing two people talk. Because I think like what I really like about our monthly discussion is that like everyone has a chance to, you know, speak and actually participate and be like, this is what I thought, this was my favorite part. And I also love how everyone in the Secret Library right now has like very diverse taste in books. And so people are like, I hated this book because it had like
romance,
or I think like some, not even romance, but like it'll be like, oh, like I hated this book because it was like so much focus on the characters. And then like another person will be like, oh, I love the book because it was so focused on the characters. And so it's like really nice to hear like everyone has their own different opinions, but then like we can all come together and celebrate the lovely things about storytelling.
Yes.
You can join the Secret Library by going onto our website. Hooray!
Yay! Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye!
Woo!